Okay, all right. Now we are recording. We are good to go. All right. Okay, so there we go. So the agenda for today, I'm going to go ahead and just talk about the why. Why are we offering this electric vehicle accelerator program? And then I'll go into the details of what the program entails. Then we'll be hearing from the town of Jackson's Johnny Ziem, and Lower Valley Energy will hear from Amy. Walton, St. John's Health from Lisa Smith, and then from the city of Bozeman, their transportation demand management program manager, Candace. So that's the agenda. Let's see here. Okay, so why join an electric vehicle accelerator partner program? So we're launching the program today, and we're hopeful that a fair amount of entities will be signing up, and we can kind of formally launch with a press release in January. But this will be an ongoing program throughout the year next year, where we'll offer programming to support some of the tasks that the program entails. And so why join? To be a part of this regional community working to advance electric vehicles in the Greater Yellowstone region. So you'll become a part of a community. And then you'll be able to provide vehicle and commuter benefits to current and future employees. Through advancing electric vehicles, you'll help contribute to the local, regional, and federal greenhouse gas emission reduction goals, help drive mobility culture shifts. So in our region, we're all fairly familiar with the desire to drive trucks and larger vehicles that are heavily gasoline and diesel. This program is kind of aimed at educating folks that there are electric options that can still serve their needs. Improve quality of life. If your program decides to offer some commuter benefits, hopefully that will improve the quality of life of some of the employees that you serve. Reduce congestion, and provide some peer-to-peer learning and teaching opportunities throughout next year. As we're going to be doing some monthly or bi-monthly webinars and workshops. And then this will also help you be poised to apply for and receive funding for infrastructure and vehicles. As we mentioned on our last, I think I went over this at our stakeholder meeting, but the infrastructure bill that was actually signed on November 15th, there's about $7.5 billion in funding that goes toward electric and alternative fuel infrastructure. So by joining a program like this can help you think through some of the infrastructure needs that your entity might need, and hopefully be poised to apply for some of those funds. And then also the reconciliation bill that's getting discussed right now. There's currently a $12,500 tax incentive in there for the purchase of electric vehicles. We'll see what actually gets passed, but so there's just a great amount of momentum and possibilities for funding and programs at the federal level. So working through some of these opportunities in our region at the regional level and having peers that you may see regularly will be helpful in moving the needle on electric vehicles in our region. And who can join this program? Really anyone. We're looking for businesses, government entities, local, state, federal, utilities. And then if you're an individual, you can encourage your employer to join this program. So the program details. So what does this entail? So we're going to be asking those who sign up for this program to have an empowered leader. We would like the leader of the the organization sign on to a letter that we'll be posting on our program website. And this is just to formally acknowledge the commitment. And this could be, whether it's the president, a CEO, the sustainability manager, whoever has the ability to ensure that this program, you kind of follow through with some of these program tasks. And then the second task is to offer workplace charging. So you can install level 2 stations for your employees And, you know, not all, I know not everyone owns their parking lot or owns where their employees park. So if you don't have the ability to actually install the level 2 station yourself, this could also be providing your employees with resources of letting them know where the nearest station is, if it's close enough that's realistic for them to charge at while they're at work, or working with whoever does own the parking lot that your employees park at to install a level 2. And you can connect with us on that. Over the years, we've had level 2 stations to offer, and currently we have a few left, as well as we're hopeful to get kind of a bulk purchase that we can help provide folks with that are joining this program. And what's the importance of offering workplace charging? Why is this a part of this program? Well, according to the Department of Energy, employees are 600% more likely to purchase an electric vehicle if charging is available at work. And this is also an equity issue because about 80% of charging takes place at home, but not everyone can charge at home. Maybe they rent, they live in a multi-unit dwelling. So this provides access to a way for folks that want to drive electric, a way for them to actually charge. So that's workplace charging. That's the second detail of the program. And then the third is educate employees. And we have 3 bullet points here, but we're really asking folks to offer just 2 out of the 3 listed here over the course of the next 12 months. So provide an opportunity for our coalition to present about electric vehicles. This could be a webinar, we could come in for a lunch and learn, whatever makes sense for your entity. Provide an electric ride and drive, one day or ongoing. So this could be something where we also coordinate this for you, where it's a one day where your employees could sign up for a time to drive an electric vehicle throughout the day, and we coordinate that. Or if your entity itself has an electric vehicle, providing an ongoing opportunity for your employees to try that out, whether it's during the workday or after hours, just providing an opportunity that they can get behind the wheel of an electric vehicle is very important. And then the third one is to provide new employees with drive less, drive electric info during employee orientation. So when there's a big life change, this is the moment that you also can change your habits more easily. So if somebody's becoming a new employee, they're going to be more receptive to looking at different ways of commuting. I don't know if they'd necessarily be purchasing a vehicle at the same time they're starting a new job. That's a lot in one go, but still just thinking through how they're going to get to work and their commute is important at that time. So we can provide materials for this that you can then provide during employee orientation. And again, just 2 of these 3 are required in the next 12 months. Evaluate electric. So each time a vehicle, if your entity owns vehicles, I know not all entities do, but if you do, the next time a vehicle needs to be replaced, take the time to assess what electric vehicles are available and to learn if there's an electric vehicle on the market that can meet the needs for the use of this vehicle, and always purchase electric if it works. And to do this, you can coordinate with the coalition. We'll run assessments for you. Total cost of ownership, your ROI, and we can also provide you with resources on where to find what electric vehicles are available. So we want to, this whole program, we really want to help you walk through each of these steps too. Again, number 5 is conduct an employee survey. So we don't want to just encourage folks to switch to electric. We also want to be helping them with their commute, because maybe an electric vehicle isn't the right fit, but being able to do some sort of carpool is. So it's all about reducing gasoline usage, reducing congestion. So that's why though this is called the Electric Vehicle Accelerator program, we don't want to not think about just reducing vehicle miles traveled in general too. So that's an aspect of this program as well. So if we conduct an employee survey, there's an understanding about the logistics of your commuters and the potential for how many workplace chargers you might need, what sort of commuting options you could offer help with. And we'll be hearing some more about some of the creative opportunities that folks have offered in our region. And so, and then the sixth, this is 5, but this is supposed to be 6, choose at least one more option. So we want the last task to be what meets the needs of your organization or what you're excited about. And this can be really, you can be creative with this, but I've listed some options here, such as assign an internal electric vehicle ambassador. Perhaps you have the ability to provide publicly available charging stations beyond just for your employees. You can provide or create new mobility benefits for employees, offer incentives for installing charging stations that might make the most sense for utilities, include green fleet procurement policies, offer incentives to drive electric, and I can't really read that, but it's off my screen. So that is the gist of the program. And I will take just one moment here to see if anybody has questions. If you want to type them in the chat, or you could unmute yourself, and then we'll move on to our presenters. Okay. Well, thanks everyone. I'll take that silence as no questions, but there'll be opportunities later as well to ask more. We will move on now to hear from Johnny Ziem, Assistant Public Works Director for the town of Jackson, who's been instrumental in all of the charging stations around the town of Jackson and a huge electric vehicle advocate for our community. So I'm gonna mute myself and you can take it away, Johnny. Oops.
Awesome, thanks, Alicia. Hi, everyone, good to see everybody. My name is Johnny Ziem. I work for the town of Jackson here in Wyoming, and I'm the Assistant Public Works Director. So like Alicia said, we've been pretty ambitious in terms of getting EV charging out to the community. We have about 13 chargers spread out around the community. Most of them are in our public parking lots. And we have a host of different levels. So we have, most of them are level 2 chargers, but we also, within the last year and a half, have put in 2 fast chargers, which is the image that Alicia is showing. Why, what types of charging, we offer. So we do offer some workforce charging. Recently, we just put some chargers at our town hall facility. They're not specific to, workforce per se. They're kind of open to everybody. And we also have one here at Public Works. So we're definitely look to expand that in the future. One of the big reasons why, there's a couple of reasons why we've been aggressive with our EV policy. First, it kind of follows our sustainability goals, our internal sustainability goals as an organization. But it's, like most things with government, we try to be the kind of beacon on the mountain, so to speak, in terms of getting it out there, right? And buying into the technology. We did the same thing with solar back, in 2008. Not that solar was new then, but it was kind of new somewhat to our community. So we were wanted to be the model for investing in these types of assets. So some of the processes that we have to do, first we have to get council approval to perform the project and get funding. Some of the other permits you need, you'll need an electrical permit and stuff like that to actually get the chargers installed. All the chargers we've used so far have been provided by one company, which is ChargePoint, which is kind of nice, working with one company instead of having 3 or 4 different kinds of chargers and 3 or 4 different kinds of contracts and contacts and all that sort of stuff. So it's been pretty good. Some of the issues we've had, one particular issue that comes to mind, it was actually one of these level 3 chargers where it wasn't quite installed as per the spec, which sometimes on these chargers, they'll have weird specs on like how you have to run the power, right? So what makes sense to an electrician doesn't always align sometimes with what's in the actual spec itself. So learned our lesson there. But in general, they've been pretty straightforward. I highly recommend if you're putting them out in your communities, even at your workplace, to tie them to Wi-Fi, because then you can actually track and see how much they're being used and how much power is being used. And in the future, it would allow you to kind of set rates if you do want to charge for people using the chargers. It's pretty incredible how inexpensive it is when you look at our utility rates here in Jackson, and what it takes for me to fill up my electric car, my work car, which I drive a Chevy Bolt. It's really a couple bucks. It's awesome. So, we've always kind of tried to encourage this in our procurement policy for vehicles, which I help manage. We currently have some electric motorcycles. We have a couple electric Bolts, an electric Prius. We have 8 electric 40-foot transit buses, and we're looking to add more really as the technology increases. That's all I have, Alicia. If anybody has any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
Thank you, Johnny. If anyone has questions for Johnny, go ahead and put them in the chat, and we'll just keep moving forward with our next speakers. So thank you very much, Johnny. Okay, and next we have Amy with Lower Valley Energy. They've been able to provide an ongoing way for employees to test drive an electric vehicle. So we'll pass that off to Amy now.
Hello, everyone. I'm Amy Walton. I'm the conservation specialist here at Lower Valley Energy. And I also have with me today Brian Tanabe. He's our director of marketing and communications. And together, we're both going to chat to you a little bit about this program because we're both kind of the faces of what we have going on here.
Can you, Alicia, this is Brian. Can you see us? We might be having technical, can you hear us?
I can hear you and see you. It is there's some sort of background noise or echo, but we can hear you pretty well.
Okay. All right. We're going to keep moving forward. I don't know if the technical difficulties are us or not. Anyway, thanks for having us. You get bonus Brian today, 2-for-1 special. So the program, it's a new program for us. It's a partnership. As some of you might know, it's a partnership between Yellowstone-Teton Clean Cities, Teton Conservation District, and Energy Conservation Works. We have worked successfully in the past with these groups, with these individuals, and we are excited about this particular project, very excited. This is a part of a lot of things and hats that Amy and I wear at the utility, but this is one of the projects that we are very excited about. So this is a 2021 project. It's 7 months old, but we hit the ground running, and we got a great response.
Yeah, we had a very enthusiastic response from our employees as we opened this up to them first. So we've had about 22 out of 70 of our employees sign up to drive the electric vehicle. So we have a Chevy Bolt So that's about 31% of our employees have actually gotten behind the wheel of this vehicle. So for us, that's a pretty good success rate there. And we mostly wanted to put them in front of the wheel of this vehicle so they could be ambassadors for the program. So we want them to go out and talk to our customers or members, or just as an employee of Lower Valley, people might come to them with questions. So we just want them to be engaged and involved. So, and I think we've had a number of members sign up for the whole EV experience from our employees here.
So at the very beginning, this program, before we had the official launch, this program was primarily an employee and partners program. Then it overlapped to customers and employees, a nice mix. And so we use the employee part of the program now to kind of fill in the gap. So generally speaking, we have time slots, 2 time slots that anybody can sign up for, whether it's an employee or a customer. And there's a day slot or a midweek slot from Tuesday to Thursday, and then there's a weekend slot from Friday to Monday. And so Amy, this is the largest part of our program, is the scheduling of this long list of people. And Amy does a phenomenal job orchestrating all of this, because she has cancellations, she has holidays, and then part of her philosophy has always been, we are going to populate this customer list with some pockets that we can continually fill employees with, whether it's a cancellation or not. And so it's a pretty simple program. And as Amy mentioned before, we've had a phenomenal response from both customers and employees.
Some of the successes we've had with our employees is we were surprised at first the range of the demographics of the people borrowing the cars. So it wasn't just the office people. We've had a lot of people that are commuters take the car. We've had people take the car, for a trip to Salt Lake for the weekend. And we've also had employees that are big truck owners and kind of the outdoorsy kind of lineman folk. We've had them also take the car and love it as well. So we think that's been really unique and successful, that there's this whole range of people taking the car, which has been very exciting to us. One of the other successes I think we've had is how many of our employees we've surveyed that have gotten back to us. So it's hard for us to pull out the surveyed employees from the surveyed members, but so far I'd say about 50% of our employees that have taken it out have returned the completed survey about their experience to us. So that just helps us with, knowing what our challenges might be. And with that, I'll have Brian take over challenges.
So I see some questions coming through on the chat, and I'm not ignoring them. Amy and I will get to them. I see David has a question possibly, and then there's another one at least. So not ignoring the questions, we'll get to that very, very shortly. I'm going to hit the challenges that we've seen. The biggest challenge, our headquarters, Amy and I are in the Jackson office, but our headquarters is actually in Star Valley. So the biggest challenge for lending the car to employees, besides getting it down to Afton and back, is there's no charging in Star Valley. In all of Star Valley, there's no charging station. So I know Alicia's working hard, and our partners are working hard. Phil is working hard at ECW. We're trying to get a charging station, let alone a bunch of charging stations down there. It'd be great for a number of reasons, but it would really help our program. One thing that keeps Amy and I up at night is getting the car back from a customer or employee, having it charged up and ready to go for the next person. So little details like that keep us up. But one thing that helped us is when we at Lower Valley, thanks to Alicia's help, installed a level 2 charging station here at the Jackson office. Another challenge that we didn't quite see coming was a particular employee. She's a horse lady. She drives a huge diesel to take her horses all over the country. And she asked to borrow the car, and we were excited for her to get in the car. She got in the car and absolutely fell in love with it. She would not stop talking about it. And she asked if it would be okay if she talked about it on social media. And Amy and I were very excited at her for doing that. And we said yes. And so she went on social media and raved about it. And then she started getting, I guess, attacked, for lack of a better word, on social media in Star Valley for liking an electric car. And it got to the point where we believe that she pulled the post down because there was so much vitriol about her enjoyment of the car. So completely blindsided us. But that leads into another challenge, kind of just overcoming a certain mindset against electric vehicles, alternative fuel vehicles, alternative fuels, period. There's a bit of an obstacle in certain demographics about this technology. And our Amy and I's goal is just get them in the car. Once we can get them in the car, for the most part, they're going to love the experience. It's an incredible experience, and it kind of helps them think about things differently, think about fueling, think about economics. You know, the price of fuel at the pump, we all know what it is right now. You know, it's a phenomenal car from an economics standpoint, from a fun to drive standpoint. So that kind of stuff are challenges that we readily accept and are willing to take on. So that's it for our piece, but we're going to go into questions first. We got one from David.
Do you charge employees the same rate as the public? So right now we don't charge for charging. Our level 2 charger installed here is just free charging. So I don't think we would choose to charge at this point or install a station that charges.
Do you want to do Alan Reed's question?
Does Lower Valley offer any incentives to customers to install home chargers or to charge at low use times? So right now, Lower Valley, we just charge a flat rate. So we don't have any time of day use charges. So there's no difference charging during peak hours versus non-peak. That could change over time with our board, but right now we don't have any rates changes in the scheduled or anything. And unfortunately, right now we don't have any incentives for customers to install chargers at home, but we're constantly looking at ways we can improve on things like that.
David, thanks for the new wrap. Looks great. Comment. Alicia was part of the committee, the marketing committee, where we looked at different wraps, and it's growing on me. It was quite a shock to see that thing in person at first, but I really like it also now. Johnny, before we go, I wanted to thank you for being the opening act for the Lower Valley show. So thank you, Johnny. That's all.
Well, thank you, you two. It's been such a pleasure working with you on this program. It's very exciting, and I'm hopeful that it is a good example of what some other organizations in our region can take on themselves and offer. So, great. Thank you guys, and thank you, Brian, for being here as well. I didn't realize that we'd have you join us, and that was a pleasant surprise. And before we move on to the next speaker, are a few questions here for you, Johnny, so we can go ahead and address these now. Let's see, the first one here says, have you considered chargers faster than 50 kW?
Yes, we actually have one of our 2 DC fast chargers is 62.5 kW. That's as high as the highest we've kind of considered at the moment.
Great. And then Susan Belo says she charged her Bolt